Hello, everybody, and welcome back to One Hub Racing here for the P3 tier at the halfway point of season 24. And joined alongside me in the commentary box for this sprint and main race is my teammate from P1, Colin.
Good evening, Nick. Evening, all. This is going to be another exciting race in P3, I think. Obviously, the drivers know we have some weather to deal with.
Yes, obviously, the adaptive weather system new for this season. We know that the sprint race is going to go from heavy rain to light rain. So how will drivers react to that? Will they come into the pits to change the tyres to the intermediates from the full wets? Will there be a safety car which kind of prolongs that, which makes it more worthwhile? Lots to play for here in the points, of course. 12 points for first, 1 point for 12th place. And then, of course, straight into the main race after that, with the grid being set from the sprint race. But, Colt, do you just want to talk us through how we'll be starting the sprint race, as we won't be having a qualifying session here tonight?
No, so the grid is actually a reverse grid from the championship order. A couple of drivers have received qualifying bans by the stewards, so they're going to be starting at the back. But the sprint race will be starting off heavy rain and then going to light rain towards the end. Whether it's going to be light enough for the drivers to switch to inters to get a better position, we'll have to wait and see. And the main race is going to be bone dry. So this sprint race is going to be so tricky because they're not going to be able to afford to put a wet setup on.
Yeah, of course, whatever setup you load in the sprint race will be the one that you carry all the way through to the main race. So, you could load a wet weather setup, but then you'd be stuck with a higher downforce setup heading into the sprint race, which we know is going to be dry. So, it's all about compromise and finding the best way to get the best results in both races. But of course, looking forward to lots of overtaking, hopefully not too many incidents. And I think we're due to have 17 or 18 tonight, Cole. And just quickly, just shout out to Dr. Mew, who isn't here tonight because really isn't well. Speedy recovery for one of our P3 drivers, and we hope to see you back on the grid very soon. I don't know if you got your mic muted, Cole, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yes, all the best to Dr. Mew. Hope to see him back soon, but not until he's 100% fit. So you might have a chance to watch this after and watch the exciting sprint race that we're going to have, which is, this is where the drivers now, they are going to be, you can tweak setup slightly. So you can alter your front wing between the sprint and the race. You can alter your differential and your tyre pressures. But that's pretty much it. So they're going to have to, either some drivers are going to take the risk with a higher downforce setting for the sprint, or they're going to have to compromise and suffer a very low grip in the sprint.
Yeah, it's, as I said, it's a compromise. It's about scoring the maximum points you can out of the two races that we have tonight. And I always look forward to sprints from a commentator's point of view because it gives us more action. I'm not saying we don't enjoy qualifying and that last couple of minutes shootout, but always more laps with racing conditions is always fun for us.
Yes, definitely. So if I quickly go through the grid that we're going to have. So in pole, it's going to be Anthony Hunt. In second is OKK. In third place will be Lesty. Fourth, we have Marcy. Fifth, we'll have Fozzie. In sixth will be Giacomundo. The two Ferraris will be seventh or eighth. Ninth, we have Cowboy. 10th, we have Matthias. Then we have Shelby, Rage Man in 12th, Jess in 13th, with her teammate Jamie in 14th, M125 15th, Papa Squanch, our championship leader, in 16th, Felix in 17th, Dr. Mew in 18th, who obviously missing due to his illness, 19th Wigan is going to be Whopping Proverb, and 20th is going to be Ghost, who is making a return to One Hub.
Yeah, so obviously Ghost last season finished in second place in the P2 tier, behind last season's P3 champion Funky. They both moved up to P2, but Ghost was unable to partake in the P2 tier due to timings. So he is currently, he has been on the waiting list after round one, waiting for a space to come up. And unfortunately, we've lost Cosmic just due to his internet connection. A lot of drivers were experiencing some lag when they were around his car. Obviously, races from Australia, so that's going to be probably the main reason why. So he's going to try and work on that, and hopefully, if he can get it sorted, then we'll hope to see him back in One Hub again soon.
Yes, it was a bit unfortunate, obviously being in Australia, that the ping level's going to be quite high, and he did unintentionally have some incidents with drivers that was caused by the poor internet, which is a shame. But hopefully, we'll be able to sort it, and we'll see him back in One Hub soon.
Yeah, definitely. And whilst we're waiting for, I believe, Lesty to join the lobby, he's the last remaining driver we're waiting for. Let's talk about Shelby. So he was brought into the drivers' press conference today. Obviously, his second season in One Hub after his first time out last time in the P3 tier in season 23. And he was asked, what a great season you've been having so far. P6 in the standings, and you have a good chance of climbing up too. How have you managed to improve your pace this season to compete with the top guys? Now, we've noticed this. He's been kind of, particularly in qualifying, Cole, getting up into the top three. So how has he improved so much?
Well, this is what I was really interested to see, because I was looking at his past results as well. And I think his qualifying was always there, there or thereabouts. But it's his race pace that's improved, and his wheel to wheel has improved. I think he's been quite unlucky, to be honest, this season. But his pace and his wheel to wheel has dramatically improved. He's driving very well at the minute.
Yeah, he definitely is, and we tipped that team, Alfa Romeo, for a good championship charge. Obviously, incidents haven't gone their way this season, but still showing strong pace and a big improvement, which means there's more to come on that trajectory.
Definitely, 100%. So we've got Ghost in the chat, actually, who says he hasn't been near the game since he left due to work. So he could be a bit of a struggle, but I still expect him to be strong in the race. A very good driver, very clean driver, hard but fair. I think he could ruffle some feathers in this tier this season, I think, towards the end.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. He's got some good pace. He missed out on the championship last season, managed to get himself a silver trophy, so didn't miss out on nothing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he mixes up with the quick guys. What about Matthias? How's he going to do? After a couple of strong races, Jamie up there, consistency, the key to his championship charge. Obviously, you got Hooky, who we know has got some amazing pace, but unfortunately he's been, found the wall a few too many times. And then you got Papa, Papa Squatch, who's leading the championship. So yeah, all to play here for in the P3 tier. This is what we love about this tier. Great to see some drivers improving throughout the season, and yeah, looking forward to tonight's race.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the drivers' standings now, Papa Squanch on 81 points out in front. Then you got Jamie and M125 tied on 75. So there's only 6 points covering the top three. And then you got Jess on 56, who's not too far behind. Big shout out to Jess this year, 566,575. Brilliant consistency. Same with Mason, 798,887. And this is the type of thing. I remember when Whopping Proverb won, I think it was season 21, I think, season 20 maybe.
I think so, yeah. One of them.
And he never won a race, but he was consistently on the podium, and that's what gave him the title. There's been some really good standout performances as well. You've got Matthias, who in round 4, around the Netherlands, scored his maiden one-hub victory as well, which was a great result. Cowboy getting a great second place at round 3. So I'm looking at it now. I don't think we've had the same winner
We haven't, no.
win twice, which just shows how competitive the tier is.
So 5 races gone, 5 different winners as the countdown gets underway. Remember, we won't have qualifying. We're going to be heading straight into the sprint race with reverse championship order. Of course, those drivers who have been given qualifying bans will be starting at the back. But one thing we need to mention, Cole, because this is the first time this season in the P3 tier that we've actually been able to talk about this. So that we got no drivers who have taken their engine penalties. But what I want to point out is that all the other tiers drivers have been taking them. But why in the P3 tier are we not seeing any drivers take a fresh engine? They're going to have to do it soon.
It's very surprising. I'm wondering if there are a couple of drivers waiting for Azerbaijan, because that is a notoriously difficult track with the barriers and the high-speed nature of the track. So they could be trying to take it then. I know Mason was umming and ahhing about taking it here, decided against it in the end. Same with Hookie. So it's surprising. I thought we would have seen at least 1 or 2 by now.
Yeah, obviously, for those of you who don't know, at one hub you have to take a new engine at some point during the season. Your one engine won't make it all the way through, and you'll have to start at the back of the grid and take a qualifying ban when you do take your engine. Of course, those in the top 5 in the championship can't take it at a sprint race. As the timer ticks down, and we're going to have 5 red lights appear on the screen any minute now. Oh, and we can see the rain. So you see the drivers at the corner of the picture there, lining up on the grid. Heavy rain. See some puddles in the pit lane, Colin, and drivers are going to be changing their strategy. They're going to be changing their fuel. Are they going to make what would you expect them to do with their setup in these wet weather conditions?
I certainly expect them to see them upping up the diff, so up towards 60, 65. Some might go to put a little bit more front wing on, so they've got a bit of better turning and a bit better on the brakes. They might adjust their brake bias touch as well. But that really is all they can do. So most of them are going to have gone for a dry setup, so they're going to have to compromise to a certain degree. But I mean, you could see the weather. I mean, the standing water there's not going to be a lot of grip in that first corner.
Yeah, and as we go, 5 red lights. So Anthony starting on the front row alongside OKK. Lesty's not here, of course. Here we go. Oh, it looks like the Williams gets a drive-through, I think. Yeah, that's Fozzie. So he's jumped the start. And there's a Aston Martin spinning around. I think he's ghosted. Anthony leads. Jack's up to second, but pushes Marcy completely off the track. We're seeing Popper falling down the order. Fozzie's out the race. What's happened to him? Obviously, we know he got that jump start there, but Anthony, 2.5 second lead. And Popper's got a 5 second penalty. So a full safety car now. So the drivers are going to slow down. And we'll recap exactly what happened at the start there as much as we can, Cole. But I just want to point out that a safety car during the sprint race is definitely going to give the drivers more to think about in terms of whether they want to stop for intermediate tyres later on in the race.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just looking through the grid now, and we've got Shelby with no front wing. So he's had an incident on that. And he's struggling. He's really struggling to, even under the virtual safety car, to keep the car in a straight line. We have Jamie with 28% damage on his front wing. Ghost has got 48% as well. Matthias has damage on his front wing, and so does Papa Squanch, our championship leader. And looking at it, he's got a penalty. Now, I don't know. I will check now to see what that's for. Just checking now.
I think it's a collision, wasn't it?
It's a 5 second. Oh, there's a Ferrari off in the background. It's Hooky. Hooky's spun. He manages, I think he just kept it out of the wall there, but only just. But that does drop him down the field now. So now he's 16th.
Well, 16th place. Fozzie's already out, so them two are our biggest losers here. As Hooky comes into pits, has he got damage? What's he going to... Oh, he almost spins it, braking, slowing it down. That car looks an absolute handful. Have to say, Jack took advantage there, slung it up the inside. Sent... oh, it's Anthony. What's happened to Anthony? Has he spun it? No, Jack spun it. Jack's off.
And we've got a full safety car now, so it's gone from a VSC to a full.
So what happened there? Jack ended up completely off track. Momentarily took the lead though, so maybe he just outbroke himself, went way off track. And you can see now they're going to form up behind the safety car. You can see in the background all the cars in these wet conditions. You can see the puddles there through turn 4. Really tricky track in the wet here. Traction's very poor. And I think we saw that off the line. I think that's maybe what caused it all. Obviously, Matthias back down in 14th place. So remember, you don't have to make a pit stop in these conditions. But I just want to point out that Ghost has jumped early and he's gone onto the intermediate tyres. So Ghost in the Alpine on the intermediate tyres. We come through what is normally a very fast left-right hander onto the intermediates, and the Alpine driver back in P3 for the first time since season 23, and he knows that it's going to dry up a little bit. He knows that it's going to go to intermediate conditions, and he's decided to take the call behind the safety car and negate the time lost stopping in the pit lane under normal racing conditions.
Well, that's a big call because there's a lot of standing water there. You can see the rain coming down very heavy. There's still standing water there, so that's a big gamble from Ghost there. As Matthias picks up a 3-second time penalty, which that's not ideal at this stage.
Especially under the safety car. Yeah, jinx.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very surprised they've gone on. I suppose, they're at the back of the grid. It's worth a shot. Papa Squance there in 14th had a horrible start, but safety car has helped him a little bit with that damage that he's received. So looking at the big losers and winners from that start so far, Hooky down 10 places now in 16th. Felix and Proverb up 6 places, which is a great start. Cowboy up 4. Jack up 3 into P2. Okeke's lost 4 now, he's down in P6. Mason up 2. I know, chatting to him before the race, he was really quite concerned about his wet weather pace. But he's had a good start. He's put it up into 5th. Jump in a couple of drivers. You've got M125 there, up 5 places in 8th place, as we're about to go racing again.
So remember, if you see the light flashing on the back of the cars, it's the rain light. It's not that they're low on ERS. And mentioning DRS, there is no DRS, of course, in the wet weather conditions. Anthony absolutely storming that start, so he will be glad to have seen that safety car. It means he's led for a few more laps, and obviously that's the great thing about these reverse championship order sprint races, as we're seeing M125 and just go side by side on the exit turn 1, and you can see Okeke, who struggled off the start. He's swarming in that Aston Martin. The rear of that car is not happy at all as M125 goes down the inside. Of course, tied for second in the championship. Okeke tries to switch back. Bit of contact there. Further on, what's going on? We've got Papa, Matthias, Felix struggling for traction. Look at them all as they head down towards turn 4.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm surprised at is the top 5 just... They've dropped the rest of them already. I mean, there's a 2-second gap between Mason and M125. I know M125 was having a little fight with Okeke. Oh, as Okeke has a huge slide. Yeah, he's in the gravel and he's spun around. He initially caught it, but unfortunately he's in the gravel and he's down to 16th.
And I tell you who else is struggling is Ghost on these intermediate tyres. Yellow flags in sector 2 and 3 as Hookie's trying to go around the outside of Jamie. Jamie's falling further down the field now, down in 14th place. And look at Ghost in the background there. Will he reap the rewards later on, or is he going to struggle too much to even keep the car on track in these opening laps? But look at this, Jack leading. So Jack leading by 1.3 seconds. Anthony down to back up to third, we should say, as Cowboy and himself changing places. Marcy's up to second. JR Mason currently in 5th position. So he wasn't comfortable in the wet earlier, but seems to me that he knows where to place the car at the moment, as the two in front going side by side on the exit of turn 3. Anthony dropped down to 4th position again. He can still score good points though, can Anthony, and with his teammate currently down in 9th position as Jamie gets a penalty, he'll need to score some points for that Mercedes team. Is Papa going to try it down the inside of Shelby? Can't quite make it. Shelby gives him room though, fair play.
Yeah, that was good racing from there as they're still fighting. Shelby does have front wing damage. I can see his end plate has gone. So he's going to get a lot of understeer in these conditions. You can see it there as we're on board with the Alfa Romeo really struggling to get it turned in. And we got a yellow flag in sector 2. Trying to see who that is. They've all managed to stay within the same position so far. Yeah, Jamie's having a bit of a struggle. He's got Hookie all over him at the minute.
Safety car.
Safety car, another safety car.
Oh, I tell you who just came into the pits then. Felix. Oh, he might not get this slowed down. He just did. Yeah, Felix into the pits. Jamie decides to follow him in. So what tyres are these guys going to go to? And drive through for Hookie for speeding under the safety car.
Oh, that's brutal. It's so difficult, especially in these conditions, to keep an eye on your delta. It's very easy to go over it, but still a crucial, another mistake, unfortunately, for Hookie.
So Ghost gone back onto the wet weather tyres. Felix and Jamie changed his wing, by the way, so that explains why he was struggling, have gone out on intermediates. Now, of course, you'd expect the safety car to stay out for at least another lap after this one, whilst it collects the rest of the field and they all back up. But yeah, 3 tyres. KK changing his wing, going on to the intermediate tyres. I have a feeling, Cole, that after this safety car period, Ghost would have wished he was back on those intermediate tyres, because we know. Oh, as Jamie gets a penalty
Jamie
now for
gets
speeding.
Oh, that's. Yeah, this is. I don't know whether it's the nature of the track or it's the weather, but that's obviously 2 we've had now. I'm surprised O-Dog hasn't actually pitted under this safety car for a new front wing, unless he's feeling relatively comfortable with it. But Jamie's going to be so disappointed with that.
He's coming in, I think. I think he was past the pit lane when it first came out with Shelby, which is why they've had this delta time. So Shelby into the pit lane now. He'll change that front wing. What tyres is he going to put on? Time will tell, but still pretty wet out there at the moment. Still looking really wet, but at the moment Jack leads, Marcy in 2nd, Cowboy 3rd, Anthony in 4th, JR Mason in 5th. That's your top 5. New front wing and a set of inters for Shelby. So as he gets his way out the pit box, that will be everyone now. Either out on trackers or KK's going wide and into the gravel. He's really struggling in these conditions as a KK.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah, he's damaged his front wing as well. But this is the thing, he might be running a relatively low aerodynamic setup ready for the main race, and obviously struggling in these conditions. But we know lighter rain is coming. We know this heavy rain isn't going to last, and of course these safety cars just means that the second half of the race is going to be more light rain, which is going to bring in the likes of, not so much Jamie, obviously, because he's got his drive-through to serve after the safety car period ends, but Shelby, Felix, and OKK going to bring them back in it. Yeah,
so front wing change here for OKK. As you mentioned, Jamie and Hookie both needing to serve a drive-through for speeding under those safety car conditions. Your top 11 on wet tyres, as is Ghost, who came off the inters after the first safety car and has gone on to wet. So will the safety car now wait for OKK to catch up? I imagine it will, because OKK's got a whole lap now. He's a minute behind, but he's got a whole lap to catch up before the safety car comes in. So it's going to be a tall ask in these conditions, but nevertheless, he'll go for it. So, yeah, Colin, which strategy is going to be right? Really interesting here. If I was near the front, I wouldn't want to give up the lead, and come in for a set of inters. If you're near the back, I think it's in Felix's case, he was just as the safety car came out, he was literally by the pit lane entrance and he dived in there. So Hooky and Matthias changing positions there, going very slowly into turn 3. Matthias has a penalty, so Jamie has a 3-second penalty and a drive-through. So good thing for him, he's got another race after this.
Yeah, I think a couple of these drivers, I think the next race can't come soon enough. You can have the likes of Hooky having that drive-through to serve. That's going to drop him back quite considerably.
So safety car in this lap. KK's not going to catch the field up. He's hardly caught anything at the moment. So the rear of his car just looks like a fish. He just wants to slap around every time he tries to put any sort of input into his throttle. So strange. As we said, it is a dry race. There are 3 DRS zones in the race in the dry. So perhaps drivers thinking about that, and he might be one of them. But as Jack gets us going, Marcy just taps the back of him. He hasn't decided to go yet. All the drivers caught out a little bit by that as Hooky comes into the pits to serve his drive-through, as does Jamie, and away we go into the background, up into turn 1. You can hardly see the cars, the rain. As Jamie gets to speeding in the pit lane. This will be a sprint to forget. Felix moves up into 10th position. No, back down. JR Mason up into 4th, so he'll be hunting for a podium now. And Anthony, our pole sitter, is he going to try and send it down the inside? Nope, keeps it nice and steady. And yellow flags in Sector 1. We're seeing Cowboy and Marcy. Jack as well is about to lose the lead. Look at the traction Cowboy got out of turn 3 there. Fantastic, Colin.
That was incredible. I mean, I don't know whether he's got a higher wing setting on the rear, but the grip he had coming out of that turn then was astonishing. Now, one thing I did notice, Hooky and Jamie boxed then to get rid of their drive-through penalty, but as I thought at the time, you have to do another lap. You can't serve it that quickly when the safety car comes in, so they're going to have to serve it again as Cowboy nearly loses it. Marcy now. And Jack, they've got a huge run on him. Is he going to go for it? No, not quite.
Jack gets back into second. Marcy's off the track. JR Mason's under attack now from Popper. How's he made his way all the way back up into 4th position? And now JR Mason's under attack from M125. And you've got Anthony behind, almost side by side with him. So absolute carnage here. You couldn't call this podium if your life depended on it. So Anthony in 7th place.
Jack spun. Jack has spun. Oh, such a shame, but he's hit the wall and lost his front wing. Oh, he was on for such a good result. Now, is that going to bring out a safety car? I don't think so. I think it's going to be too late now for the safety car.
More front wing carbon fibre as Shelby's now up into 6th position on those intermediate tyres, going wide though. Obviously, he's got a penalty to contend with. Marcy leads from Anthony, so Anthony back up to 2nd place. Cowboy has left the session, so disconnected from the lead. He's back in the lobby. You can see his name appear down there on screen as Shelby just comes and taps the Mercedes of Popper. Provob gets through into 6th position. KK gets another penalty. So Shelby on these intermediate tyres, it just doesn't look dry enough. It's even dried up at all. It doesn't look like it to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the pace that Shelby's got, because like you said, it doesn't look dry enough for intermediate conditions, intermediate tyres, but he's really coping with it quite well here. Unfortunately, he does have that penalty, which is going to really cost him, as we've only got a couple of laps to go now.
JR Mason back down into 9th position, so just shows you sometimes if you lose that momentum, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in just the click of a finger. So Felix into the pit lane on those inters. So is he deciding those tyres aren't for him, or does he have damage? JR Mason has a moment on the exit. Ghost now on those wet weather tyres goes around him, and you're seeing the 2 in front, which is Jess and Cowboy. Cowboy back in the car Going to send it down the inside. That's right on board with Ghost. Goes wide. Just cuts back. Yellow flag in sector 3. Not sure who's that for. Cowboy back down to 9th now and under attack from the Ferrari driver. Back up front. Just 2 attempts to get between the top 2. One more lap and Marcy could be another winner here in the P3 tier. So I don't want to jinx him, but he's heavily under attack from M125.
Yeah, this is going to be such a close end to the race. Look how close it is. There's less than a second covering the top 3 at the minute. As M125, he has a look. He's going to think about having a go, is he? Oh, it's such a difficult corner to try and overtake. It's such a fast corner, even in these terrible rain conditions. Visibility is such a difficult thing as well when you're that close. Anthony Hunt and Papa Squanch having a great race, especially Papa Squanch. Like you said, Nick, he come from nowhere. He's really dragged that car through the field brilliantly as we head into the last lap.
4 attempts, obviously loads of errors here, easy to gain it back, lots available to use. Are we going to see the 2 Mercedes swap positions? No. Shelby there in the background, all the 2 Mercedes, one goes deep, the other one tries it on the inside. You got Shelby going wide, Anthony gets a penalty for that, the McLaren in the background there as well. So Shelby back down the inside, I think he had to give up a position there. And he's down in 6th position. Let's keep an eye on the front. M125's just sent it round the outside. Can Marcy do anything about this? I don't think so. Looks like M125 has the position. Marcy tucks back in. He might have to settle for 2nd here, but a career best for him, I believe. We'll check it in a minute. As OKK gets a 10-second time penalty. But half a second. Top 2, final lap here. Final few corners to go. Proverb in battling. No, they're side by side heading into the penultimate corner. Anthony looked like he might be getting a podium here. M125 about to cross the line. Marcy in 2nd. So M125 takes the sprint win here in Austria. Marcy in 2nd. Anthony in 3rd. Drops down to 5th, which means Proverb gets the podium. Popper in 4th. Anthony 5th. Ghost up to 6th. Jess up to 7th. Cowboy, who was leading and disconnected, unfortunately for him, in 8th. J.R. Mason 9th. Shelby all the way down to 10th. I know he had a penalty, but there must have been something else on that last lap. And his teammates in 11th.
Yeah, it's such a shame with that penalty, isn't it? With for Shelby there, he was in such a great position, same as Anthony Hunt, in 3rd place. It just shows, this track is notorious for getting time penalties, and if you're going to get a late safety car like we did, it's really going to tumble you down the order. But what a brilliant race!
Yeah, fantastic. Popper making his way back up from being involved in that incident on lap 1. So yeah, obviously ignore the points. Top 12 score points on the sprint rounds here at One Hub Racing. So Colin, I don't know whether you want to do the honours.
Yeah, so our sprint race winner, M125 in the Haas after starting 13th. A great drive. Marcy in 2nd. Whopping Proverb in 3rd, finishing off the podium of the sprint. Papa Squanch in 4th. Great recovery from 14th. Then we have Anthony Hunt, Ghost, Jess in 7th, Cowboy in 8th, Mason in 9th, Shelby and Jack, the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers, in 10th and 11th, Felix in 12th, Hookie in 13th, with Jamie in 14th after their drive-through penalties that they had to serve, 15th Matthias, and 16th OKK, with Fozzie retiring on lap 1.
Yeah, obviously Fozzie getting that jump start there, which gave him a drive-through, and then somehow he was out the race. But anyway, sun shining. Strange conditions there. It's meant to go from heavy rain to light rain. I didn't really see too much of a change in the conditions from our point of view. But nevertheless, we are here for the main race. So M125 becomes the first driver to win 2 races this season in the P3 tier. So obviously he won the main race in China, and now he's run the sprint race in Austria. So no one has won 2 main races, Cole. That's what we'll go with heading into Austria, of course. But obviously your championship leader, Popper, hasn't won since round 1. So it just shows you there's no domination in this P3 tier. And Colt, sitting on the grid now, adjusting, time to reset, refocus. Drivers like Jamie and Hookie, they'll have to put that sprint race behind them.
Yes, it's done now. They're going to have to put it in the back of their brains now and just focus on this race. So the drivers now, they would have slightly tweaked their setup with their differential and their front wing, and they'll now be resetting that now for the race. But one thing that's going to be very difficult for them is they've just done a sprint race in heavy rain conditions, and they've now got to switch now to expect that much higher grip levels that they're going to get around the corners, and it does take a while to get used to. Some drivers are going to get used to it quicker than others.
Yeah, what I always found is the car feels incredible. It feels so much grippier, but of course sometimes that can be a bit tempting to get these corner cut warnings and track extends if you turn in a bit too early, or extend on the outside of the corner a little bit too much. But here we go, we can see the fans cheering from the pictures on our screen, and you can see all the teams in the pit lane ready to rock and roll. So it's just a case of waiting for these drivers. We will try and squeeze the sponsors in, but of course if the 5 lights appear, we know that we will come back to them. So Next Level Racing, of course, providing prizes for the league. They've been announced last week, so FGT Light, FGT Wheel Stand 2.0, lots on offer this season. Big thanks to them. Vespertine, who of course do our merchandise, they popped in the Twitch chat earlier, so big thanks for them and their support. Pure Sim Gear, of course, giving you the chance to win sim racing gloves or sim racing socks to enhance your performance in your rig. ERT, of course, our main partners, and they support your trophies and medals that get sent out to you at the end of each season. SimGrid, of course, we run all of our championships through their community and their website, so make sure you head over to SimGrid and check out One Hub Racing. And then, of course, Assetec Sim Sports, who provide prizes and merchandise. Perfect timing as 5 red lights are on. Here we go, lining up along this front row. M125 and Marcy gets away well. The McLaren gets away well. Hopefully it's a lot cleaner. And look at that, Marcy straight into the lead. What a launch he got. But look at that, around the outside goes M125. Popper up into 3rd position, taking advantage of that start. Cole, talk us through this one whilst I get the spectator stuff on screen.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Marcy really had the jump on M125 there, but backed out at the last second quite wisely, I think. Now it's all about keeping the traction together. Marcy just going to try and stay within that 1 second window for the DRS in the next couple of laps. As I'm looking down the grid now, and we've got Jack, who's dropped down 4 places. Oh! As Fozzie runs in the back of Jamie there, nearly spins Jamie round, but they managed to survive it for the time being. Wapping Proverb just down the 1 place. Mason up 2 places from the start. Hooky up 4. OKK's even up 6. I mean, that's a tremendous
Oh, there's a car round in the wall. That's Jack. Jack and Fozzie just caught the end of that there. They came together. Yellow flags. Will this bring out a safety car? Yes, I think it. Virtual safety car. So I expect Fozzie to continue. Jack's off in the gravel still, struggling to get his car going. Shelby got a 5-second penalty earlier in the race. Couple drivers already into the pits. That's OKK and Felix. So coming in to choose to do a stop. Jack will now enter the pits. Virtual safety car, of course, you leave less time when boxing under a virtual safety car. Will he get it slowed down? Just in time. The bottom 4 into the pits. Virtual safety car M125 leads.
Yes, and OKK decided there, I think quite cleverly, to get rid of the softs and go for the medium tyres. So that was a cheap stop for him under that virtual safety car. He can now stretch these mediums.
We're back racing, by the way. That was a quick end. Popper caught Marcy and us sleeping. I didn't even notice that. Popper did though. He's up into 2nd place. Proverb is all over the back of Marcy. So your top 10 on a set of soft compound tyres. Jamie choosing the mediums, and you got Matthias and Shelby on softs. Always the McLaren goes wide. There will be a warning. You're going to see plenty of penalties here tonight as DRS gets enabled. Proverb down into 4th position. Ghost up into 6th position, and Mason comes across the line currently in 7th. As I'm seeing a bit of lag there from Proverb. Don't know if that was just on my end.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit of lag on my end as well, but it doesn't seem to be bothering too much. Now, as Marcy and Proverb come together, going into turn 3, just about managed to avoid any damage there, but they really are fighting hard. They're desperate to get these positions. Of course, we're only on lap 3 of 36. It's such a long way to go.
Yeah, plenty of laps here, which means plenty of DRS zones and overtaking opportunities. Drivers need to think about that. You know, it might be future safety cars, so yeah, lots of chance to gain position. I think it might be Anthony that was lagging. I think Anthony's lagging as a KK first driver to pick himself up. A 3-second time penalty. Shelby did get a 5-second time penalty on the opening lap for corner penalty. I'm not sure how he managed that. As you see the top 2 trading fastest lap times now. Marcy losing a position to Anthony. So Anthony's back up. He's showing some good pace here, is Anthony, in Austria.
He is. He struggled a bit in the first couple of rounds. I think he was still finding his feet, but the pace he's got around this track is tremendous. He's really, he's right on Marcy as he has a go. And they're going to try and go 3 abreast. I mean, that's brave.
Someone's lagging here, but I can't tell which car it is. They all seem to be lagging. The McLaren, both Alpines, and the Mercedes of Anthony. So, as Anthony has a bit of a moment there, taps the inside of the McLaren. He's going to lose a position to Ghost, who's up into 5th. So, plenty of DRS in down the field. You see Cowboy there, looking to recover after a strong showing in the sprint race. How far forward can he get? Will we see a safety car? Will these drivers at the back of the field, love a safety car? Will they get it? And you can see at the back you've got Jess, Matthias, Jamie, Shelby, all within DRS of each other. Only the top 2 and JR Mason currently outside the DRS, other than, of course, those who are pitted.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with M125's pace out the front, especially with Squanch. But look, Marcy, Proverb, Ghost, Anthony Hunt, they are fighting so hard that it's a big spin! As Marcy and Proverb come together, I only caught the end of that then, but that was huge mistake there from one of them. It looked to me as though Marcy had a bit of oversteer and went into Proverb, which has really hurt their races.
Yeah, yellow flags are cleared, but they're both falling down the order. Ghost back up into 3rd position now, so I feel like he's taking full advantage of all the incidents around him, just keeping his nose clean. You can see the Red Bulls side by side. Looks like Shelby almost went into the back of one of them there through this high-speed corner. You've got to be on your toes here. Such high speed, some of these corners, and as I said, poor traction at some of the exits of the slow speed corners. So look at this. Hooky is going to have a look down the inside of Cowboy. Is he into turn 1, Colin?
Yeah, he's going to have a try. He thinks better of it. Now, Hooky, I look at his ERS, he's got 98%. So I'm assuming he's going to use it now. Yeah, he is using it, but he's not really gaining on the Haas driver, which suggests he's got quite a high downforce setting for this race. But he's having a good recovery after having a bit of a nightmare sprint race. I noticed that his teammate Mason let him go a couple of laps earlier. And it seems to be the right call with the pace that Hooky's got at the minute. Can he catch Cowboy? Can he pass Cowboy? Because he is getting held up at this stage.
Yeah, Shelby came into the pit, so both Alfa Romeos on the hard compound tyre at the back of the field. So they'll be hoping for a safety car. Marcy and Proverb, I don't think either of them got any damage. So they've been able to continue on. Perhaps you can have a look on Taskol and see whether there's anything showing on that side. But Matthias on the back of JR Mason, and you looks like he's got a fantastic run. Turn 1 isn't always the best place to complete an overtake because you're not able to carry as much speed through the exit of turn 1, which means the driver behind is going to be able to get the DRS open and get a better run on you. But Matthias had the move done, back to the racing line, broke nice on where he needed to, as Anthony gets the time penalty. Marcy thinks about going up the inside, lagging a little bit there again, and Jess and Jamie just trundling along together, the two Red Bulls. Let's look at this. Hooky and Cowboy up quite close, side by side, on the exit of turn 4, coming up to this left-hander. I love these sneak corners.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Hooky's all over Cowboy, but he just hasn't really got that straight line speed to be able to overtake. Now, I'm just looking on Taz now. Marcy, who is currently sitting in 9th place, has 15% front wing damage. As is that Hooky pitted? Yes. So, lap 8, Hooky pits the softs. Now, what tyres is he going to go on? As he just about makes it, yeah, he just manages to get it stopped in time.
So Hooky,
yeah, so looking at Taz,
nice and early.
Yeah, but Jess has got damage as well. It's only 8%, but that is going to cost her.
Felix is off, by the way, in the gravel. Yellow flag, sector 3. He's got away with it, got going again. No damage on that AlphaTauri. So, yeah, plenty of incidents here, Cole. This is a track where there's not lots of runoff area. There's gravel and grass, and is this catching the drivers out? Look at that run up to turn 1, and you can see now Shelby all over the back. Fozzie there. Is he going to try into turn 1 on these hard compounded tyres? Sends it. Keep it clean, boys. Just about.
Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah, just enough kept. Shelby's got the inside now as they head towards turn 3. In the inside, very easy to outbrake yourself here, even though it is uphill. But yeah, there you go. He just about manages to get it stopped. Fozzie just nudged the back of Shelby's car there. I don't think he damaged his front wing, but he does manage to complete the move for Shelby. Good
so move. Who's this in? We got Jess and Marcy and Jamie up now on those medium compounded tyres. So the two come into the pits, Marcy and Jess, and Proverb continues on just ahead. Let's jump back on board with Cowboy, who's just about to get the pass done into 4th place on Anthony. Anthony's still up there in the top 5, showing us that, he had a good sprint and he's got some decent pace around here in the sister Mercedes.
Yeah, he's really showing great pace in this race. It wasn't just the wet conditions of the sprint that helped him. He really is got this track nailed at the minute. Quite surprising to see Hooky choose the harder compounded tyre. Obviously not feeling... with his practice that he's had, not feeling the medium tyre, decides to go for the harder tyre. So he will be able to go a little bit longer and won't get so much degradation. Can't even say it. Wear.
And we're seeing Jack's left the session, currently down... Oh, who's that? Someone spun there? Yeah, there's an Alfa Romeo spun in the background. Who is that? Is that Jack? Yes, that's Jack. So Jack's spun it on the final corner, and he has left the session, and he is not a happy boy, I imagine. Currently down in last position. Of course, if a safety car came out, it changes everything, but we've got Proverb and JR Mason into the pits now, so lots of drivers making stops. We've got the top 6 now, all on the soft compounded tyres. Matthias has caught up, by the way, as Anthony's showing some brilliant pace holding on to the back of Cowboy.
He really is. I mean, Cowboy is most certainly holding up not only Anthony, but Matthias as well. And this is bringing Jamie back in the hunt as well. He is catching the pair of them. And Jamie is on those medium tyres. The softs, they're going to start to win. Now they're going to start to go off. Yes, we got lead. Top 2 in the pit lane.
Let's have a look at penalties. You can see Anthony, Matthias, Okoke's got 2, Felix and Shelby. And let's have a look at who stopped. So you're going to see that from 8th down, soon to become from 6th down, have all completed their first stop. And you can see the top 5 will continue on. Jamie, of course, on those medium compounded tyres since the start. And as we're seeing a pass here, Anthony sends it down the inside of Cowboy. Matthias wants to get involved as well.
Yeah, this is turning into a tremendous battle. You just get the impression this is going to be a race-long battle as Papa Squanch, he's in the DRS zone of M125. I'd love to know what wings M125's got, but even with DRS, Papa Squanch could not catch him. He really is flying down the straight.
Ghost, returning P3 driver, continues on for another lap on these soft compounded tyres. He obviously feels comfortable. What about Cowboy? He continues on. Anthony's into the pits. Matthias continues as well. So yeah, this will be really interesting strategy-wise. How these play out. We know the undercut, Colin, is worth quite a bit here as well, even though it's a short track. And Matthias has got a fantastic run here on Cowboy.
Yeah, he's really... Cowboy covers the inside, but Matthias is through even before the braking zone. He must have had a tremendous run coming out of the first corner there. Now, this is the chance now Matthias needs to pull away. But we know Anthony has stopped earlier.
Sorry, Cole. Side by side, your net race leaders, M125 and Popper, as they head into turn 4. The Mercedes sends it down the inside, goes a little deep. M125 trying to do the switchback. Is he going to use some ERTs and have the outside line? Oh, side by side. And he keeps the position. Brilliant racing from these two.
What great racing to go side by side in such fast corners. This really is tremendous. I'm just looking now. So M125 and Papa Squanch, they're not keen on using their ERTs yet. They're both in the 80%. And I'm surprised that Papa Squanch hasn't tried using some of his ERTs, because he is getting held up quite a lot here.
So back into third and fourth. Ghost is going to come out the pits. Matthias also boxed that lap, so Cowboy leads the race, only himself and Jamie yet to stop. And you can see now Hooky, that early stop, even though he's on the hard compounded tyres, has helped him gain places here.
Yeah, that undercut's really worked out for him, as we got a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know, not entirely sure what that yellow flag is. Everyone seems to be holding position at the minute. But yeah, that strategy from Hooky has really helped. He's on the back of OKK now, who's on those medium tyres from lap 2. He went unboxed, don't forget, under the virtual safety car, so he's going to be struggling a little bit on these mediums. And Hooky, if he wants to progress in this race now, he really needs to jump in, as we got Cowboy in the pits.
So off those soft compounded tyres, 13 laps on him, I should say. That's quite a ask. And then you've got Jamie now leading the race on those used set of medium tyres. But think about this, M125 and Popper have already caught Jamie up, and they've done a pit stop. So it just shows you the pace they have as they're battling into turn 3 here. Going to continue on to turn 4. KK has been, he's fighting back with Hooky. So Hooky perhaps into turn 1, and OKK got a better run, as I mentioned earlier. Matthias holding on to that battle. Look at these two. Jamie almost being pushed out of turn 4.
Oh, this is such a tight battle. The three of them. Jamie now obviously he's yet to pit now. He's been on those mediums for quite a while. They're 13 laps old. The drivers behind only on 3 lap old mediums, so they're going to be much fresher. Is Jamie going to box? No, he carries on for another lap, so he's holding these guys up, and this really is going to help the likes of Cowboy, who's just boxed.
So here comes M125 down the inside. As I said, it's hard to carry the momentum. Jamie looks like he just about avoided touching the Haas car there. He's the only one without DRS, moves to the side, now lets them both through, and Popper continues the hunt on M125. It looks to be like we could get a repeat winner for the first time this season in the main race if things carry on as they stand. There's still 21 laps to go, plus this one. Cowboy and Proverb. Oh, we're seeing OKK half spin it there on the exit of turn 3. Hooky goes through on those hard compounded tyres, and it's all happening. They're all within DRS here, Colin.
Oh, I mean, I was on board with OKK then, as OKK, Hooky and Matthias were 3 abreast. It was astonishing. They never touched. It was great racing, great respect between the 3 drivers there. Hooky now trying to stay with Matthias. Matthias does seem to have the pace advantage on those medium tyres, as Jamie is in the pit lane. Jamie in the pit lane. after serving 14
Virtual
laps
safety
on those
car.
tyres. Oh, a virtual safety car. So who's that for?
Someone else has come into the pits. That's OKK. He wants to get rid of those medium tyres. So that's both virtual safety cars OKK will have pitted under. Jamie will, of course, not lose as much time for his pit stop. Oh, it's a safety car. The full safety car is out now. So Jamie's going to follow the full safety car out. I hate stuff like this because the game is just not built. What does Jamie do? Is he told to pass the safety car? On our screen, it still says virtual, Colin. Does it still say...
Same as mine, yeah. It says virtual safety car, yet we have the actual safety car on the track. So this is very confusing for
Jack's
the drivers,
back in the lobby, by the way. So Jack just joined, I think. As soon as he saw the safety car, he was probably sitting there waiting and then rejoined. So, yeah, what is going on here? The safety car is definitely out on track. So KK's gone on to softs, as has Jamie, as you'd expect. It says virtual safety car on our screen, but you can see the safety car waiting just before turn 3.
So this is very, very confusing. I don't know whether there's been a...
Top 2 are in. Top 2 are coming in for their second stop, Cole.
Now that's interesting. So are they going to go for the hard compound tyre then to get them to the end of the race? Or are they going to go and do softs and expect another pit stop? Let's have a look. No, they're going for the hard tyre. So they're gambling now. They're hoping that this is the last of the safety cars and this will take them to the end of the race.
So it does say full safety car now on our screen.
Now with full safety car, yeah.
So Ghost is currently leading. We'll show on the screen in a minute who stopped, how many times, what tyres they're all on. But yeah, so strange one that. Virtual safety car was out for a while. We saw the safety car come onto track. If I was Jamie, I would have been terrified of passing it because I've been disqualified here myself for passing the safety car when it told me to and then told me not to. So yeah, give drivers a chance to settle down, repairs their wings if they've got damage. Obviously, if they've got side pod or rear wing damage, they can't do anything about that. Back the field up, so it looks like Fozzie and Jack are going to be able, because they've not been lapped, they're going to be able to, Jack's back in his car by the looks of it, they're going to be able to come to the pits, change tyres, catch the field, and go again. So, all to play for here. Lap 17 out of 36 rounds, 6 in Austria for the P3 tier.
Yeah, this is now going to be very interesting. Sorry about that, I missed the last couple of seconds then as my headset decided it wanted to stop working, so I'm using my spare at the minute. Yeah, so this is now very interesting. Now, this is when the drivers have got to start being careful of the time penalties. So, at the moment, we've got Matthias in second on 3, Anthony Hunt in 6th on 3, Shelby in 9th place, got 3 seconds, and OKK and Felix on 6 seconds, which is quite early to get that amount of penalties. So they're going to have to start being a little bit more careful with the track limits and the extensions. So I'm just going to have a look at the tyre strategies now. This is very interesting. So the top 2 on the medium tyres. 3rd, 4th and 5th being M125 Hooky and Papa Squanch on the hard tyres.
Colin, have you noticed that Hooky has split the two who were fighting for the lead? He split them, so when they exited the pit lane, he must have come out just between them. So Papa won't be happy with that.
Oh, he's going to be fuming with that. But it just shows how powerful that undercut is as well. Because they did that under the virtual safety car as well, I think. So they would have had a shorter pit stop time. So Hooky really did put the laps in. Now, what the interesting thing here is M125 and Papa Squanch, they now don't need to box again. They've done their mandatory two stops, the same as Proverb. Marcy, OKK, Jess and Felix, they've done them as well. And the safety car is in this lap.
So you can see the bottom right hand side, the map has gone green. So yeah, some drivers need to stop again, some don't. All to play for here, halfway through Austria. Plenty of DRS zones, full batteries of and look at that, Ghost has gone for it. He's absolutely fooled Matthias with that one by going early and open up over a 1 second lead. Clever restart there, as you see the green board flashing, that means we're going racing again, and there is, I think Jack might not be in his car even though he's rejoined the session. KK gets ahead of Marcy. We go back on to what tyres everyone is on, and we can see Papa getting ahead of Hooky now on those fresher hard compound tyres.
Yeah, that was, I think that was a sensible move from both Papa Squanch and Hooky there. Papa Squanch really needed to get past Hooky as soon as possible, and Hooky didn't really want to get held up. He didn't want to start fighting this soon in the race after a safety car.
Tell you one thing I've just noticed, Colin, is that Jamie stopped for a second time. Obviously he came in as it went to VSC, put softs on, and he's then switched to the hard compounded tyres. By stopping.
Yes, so he's planning on going to the end as well then, Nick. That's interesting.
The McLaren all over the back of JL Mason. So this would be interesting, Colin. If there's another safety car, those who have stopped twice are gonna struggle unless they come in again. But look at this, the McLaren versus the Ferrari, almost wheel banging as they head into turn 1. Looks like the McLaren's going to get the job done. Fresher tyres, of course, than JR Mason. He won't get DRS. No DRS for the first 2 laps. Shelby on the back there on those old hard tyres. Not sure why he didn't come in. I guess he would have had to stop again either way. So Shelby up into 8th position, and KK now on those soft compounded tyres all over the back of JR Mason.
Oh, look at this as Mason tries fighting back against Shelby there. And look at the traction that Okeke has coming out of that I think that's turn 6, I think. I mean, what a tremendous traction on those soft tyres as he goes around the outside. Great move there from Okeke, as Mason is struggling now on these old tyres.
Yellow flags in Sector 2. Felix is out. Felix has lost it.
Oh!
Somewhere in the wall, I think. No, last corner perhaps? Or is he just come into the pits and called it a day? So I see a car coming in, that's JR Mason. So another safety car. This will be the final safety car tonight, of course. It'll be the 3rd one, so they don't allow any more than that. Felix has retired in the pit lane? No? I'm not sure where. Sector 2, I think. And JR Mason coming in for a new set of soft tyres. Oh, he struggled to get those to the end. Maybe with a couple laps of safety car that'll help him out. But yeah, Ghost hasn't come into the pit. So will Ghost come into the pits now and do his second stop? Let's switch over to the stops, Colin, and see who needs to stop again. Ghost, Matthias, you're only 2. Jack, of course, but we don't think he's in the lobby.
Yeah, this is Matthias and Ghost. They're really they're in a bit of bother here now, because obviously when they do pit, they're gonna plummet down the order now. I can only assume that the safety car came out as they were past the pit lane. I think that was the case. Yes, as they both box. Yeah, I think they're both going to come in and serve their second mandatory pit stop. And M125 will take the lead under the safety car.
So the top 2 before, not this safety car, the one before, are going to be back your top 2. Who else is coming in? Cowboy decides to come in and get off these hard tyres. So yeah, I guess some are thinking now they can push softs to the end of the race. That's what Ghost is going for. It is possible, Colin. You can do 13 laps on them, and obviously behind the safety car, a couple of them, that'll help your wear out. Marcy up into 5th position. Jamie, who stopped twice under that previous safety car, has gone all the way from 14th up to 4th.
That's tremendous. Obviously, he's going to be on hard tyres, but even so, that's. I mean, Ghost is really looking quite good here, isn't he? Because he's on brand new softs, and all the cars ahead of him are on hards, and they're about 5-6 laps old. So Ghost is in a tremendous position here.
I think Hooky as well. Hooky on those fresh medium compound tyres. Yeah. Cowboy too, who's only done, so he's put on a used set of mediums, but they'll easily go to the end. But I feel like with Ghost, he's played the right. He's got a bit lucky with the safety cars. I don't think that's just pace that's brought him up to contention for the win. And I think that he's played the right strategy calls, and I think some drivers have just been unlucky, but I think we'd have to get Marcy or Ghost out of the top 9 to win in order to carry on the streak of a different driver every week into round 7. But yeah, safety car is going to continue for another lap, and it's going to wait for JR Mason.
The reason for that, Nick, is Mason pitted. So he originally went on the soft tyres. He's decided against it now, and he's boxed again for the medium tyres. So he hasn't lost a position. I'm surprised he didn't go for the mediums to start with. But he's decided now that mediums is the way to go, and he should be able to come back up the pack. So he didn't lose any places there. He was 14th when the pit lane came out. Yeah, I think the safety cars really have not really helped Mason in this race. He was up in as high as 7th at one stage, but now down in 14th.
So Fozzie and Jack are in this train, but they're lapped. So they're both, Jack's back in his car. As JR Mason spun it on the exit of turn 3, just caught on board with him as he was recovering. Will the safety car come in this lap now, or will it? Yes, it's coming in this lap. So Mason will be able to catch back up to the field. KK down in 13th place, and then we're gonna. But there's a bit of gap. What's going on here? 1.6 seconds. Close that up. I'm sure. 1.8 seconds, so I don't know, timing screen's a little bit glitched, but doesn't look like 1.8 seconds to me. And M125 is going to get us going again with Popper hot on his heels. Of course, Popper, your championship leader, hasn't won a race since round 1.
Yeah, so this is, it just shows how competitive this tier is. As we're going to just about go racing. When does 125 decide to go? He's gone. He's gone. That's it. He's gone. He's had a good restart. Papa Squanch goes with him. And it looks like a clean restart so far.
Yeah, you can see Fozzie getting out the way in the background there, as is Jack, I believe. That's good on their behalf. But Jack getting ahead of Fozzie as well. So they're going to have a battle. And Cowboys left the session again. It's not good news for him. He's currently in 10th position. So as things stand, not too many position changes on this restart. Drivers putting the foot down. I think we're just going to have to keep an eye on Ghost. How is he going to be able to get past all of these hard runners and win this race?
Yeah, he's really got to go for it now. Now's the chance. This is at this stage when these tyres are the freshest, is when he's going to have to take in these chances to move forward. The longer this race goes on, the less advantage he's going to have. So he's really going for it. He's right on the back of Jess now. He's always thinking about going for it. No, he thinks better of it. But he's really got to go for it now.
Yeah, speaking of going for it, Popper is so close. 10-125, he's going to go down the inside here at turn 1. They cross the line almost side by side. He's got the inside line. Couple into the pits, Cowboy and Jack. So Cowboy, that's probably his AI who's done that. He won't be happy with the AI. He was on a new set of mediums anyway. So look at this. M125 now back down the inside of Popper. These two having an absolute ding-dong.
They are, aren't they? And one thing I have noticed is Ghost has dispatched one of the hard runners. So he's just past Jess. And he's now chasing after Marcy as the top 3 are just neck and neck at this stage.
Yeah, riding on board with the McLaren driver. Got a great view of the 2 in front, they're able to run so close together, 2-3 tenths of a second most of the lap. That's one thing I love about this track, without incidents. So we know how good M125 is wheel to wheel. Will that come to advantage as Ghost looking to get on with things now, currently behind the Alpine of Marcy, who's been quiet but has had a brilliant race, I think, so far, in both the sprint and the race tonight, Cole?
Yes. Yeah, I'm quite surprised. He seems to be, doesn't seem to be his track, does it really? As we got a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know whether that was Mason. I think that was Jack having another spin, I think.
I think Cowboy's retired, so...
Oh, Cowboy's DNF'd, yes, of course.
I think his computer, or his AI, boxed him. As you've seen the two side-by-side battle for the lead. M125 goes around the outside of Popper. Ghost gets ahead of Marcy now on those fresh soft tires. Got a couple seconds before he can catch the top three. But look at these two pushing each other around this high-speed corner. I think that yellow flag was the DNF of Cowboy because his AI boxed him and put on a 13 lap old set of soft tires. So that's really frustrating. And you can see the Mercedes all over the back of the Haas. And when it's the other way around, the Haas is all over the back of the Mercedes.
Yeah, this is just tremendous. As Papa Squanch takes the lead into turn one, but M125 gets a brilliant switchback. What brilliant driving.
Here comes the McLaren.
And look at the McLaren! He says, I'm going to join this party as well. Look at that. Papa Squanch goes from first to third in about 20 metres and back to second. Look at this racing. This is tremendous.
By the way, the P2 tier is currently live on YouTube, but stick with us for the finale for this race. We've still got 9 laps to go. There's contact there between the McLaren and the Haas. Probob sends it down the inside. Nothing wrong with that. Bit of wheel banging. Popper now currently in third position. He led at the start of this lap.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, the driving standards between these three has been absolutely superb. Very hard, but very fair. Oh, he's going to have a go. Papa Squanch, is he going to try it? No, he thinks better of it. He backs out of that one. And isn't it great to see what...
Oh, down the inside.
Oh, look at that.
And I tell you what this has helped. This has helped Ghost. He's been able to set the fastest lap, close up on these guys, because they've been battling so hard as Hookie gets past the other Alpine of Marcy into 5th position. I said he's also on a nice set of tyres to go for this, but yeah, Ghost now on these set of soft compound tyres, trying to go around the outside of the McLaren, and Hookie looks like he's been passed again by Marcy, so Marcy not giving this one up. Matthias wants to get in on the action. Jamie's down there, so he's lost a few positions. Shelby as well, so Hookie now gets the job done back up into 5th, and he's going to go and chase after his Ghost gets past Proverb, who had a moment there.
Yeah, I thought Proverb was going to spin there, but he did manage to catch it. Now, Ghost is in such a good position, but can he get these soft tyres to last another 8 laps? That's the real question here. They're going to start to wear now. He's not going to have the same amount of confidence that he previously had. But look at the Papa Squanch and 125 fighting again as they head into turn 1.
You could glue these two cars together tonight. They've been so closely about. This is what we want to see. This is what the P3 tier and One Hub Racing is all about. As Anthony, by the way, down in 11th position, whilst his teammate Popper tries to get his second win ever in One Hub Racing, but M125 wants his second win ever. Ghost, of course, wants to make it 6 winners out of 6. Hookie there in the background catching up as well.
Yes. You can see Hookie, he's dispatched Marcy about a lap or two ago, and now he's saying, right, the top 4, let's have a bit of fun. I want to join in this fight, and I think it's only a matter of time before we're going to have a 5-way fight for the lead.
Well, put it this way, if Hookie's able to get within DRS, you're going to have the top 9 all within DRS. Anthony gets ahead of Jess, by the way, sends it down the inside of turn 4, and yeah, as we head on to start lap 30 of 36. If you could call who's going to win this one, you are a clever man. But all about keeping your composure, not making a mistake. Are you going to think about, just not fighting too hard, saving your errors, Colin, using just the DRS, and then on the last lap, put your car in the right position. Popper, nope. Oh, he goes deep this time. Very deep.
Oh, both of the drivers go deep. And that's going to give... And look at Ghost. Look at the run Ghost has got now. Is he going to be able to challenge 125 round the outside? It's going to be a brave move trying to fight round there. No, but he does get past Papa Squanch there. I noticed that M125, I only caught the end of it. I think M125 had a go on Squanch and just outbraked himself just a tad. I mean, look at this racing. This is tremendous. I mean, we've the top 4 covered by less than a second, and Hooky is catching them up.
Oh, this is
look
fantastic.
Look at Hooky come through. Oh, as Anthony Hunt gets 3 seconds. That means he's on 9 seconds.
Ghost had a moment.
Now.
Ghost had a... No. Yeah, Ghost has had a moment. The Mercedes now has got back past.
Oh, now is this the tyres going off a little bit? Are these soft tyres? As I say that, as Ghost has another go at Papa Squanch.
I think we'll just sit here and watch, Colin, just let the cars do the talking, because how are we meant to keep up with this? Down the inside, goes, Papa keeps the position, so I think these tyres are going to, at this stage, be pretty even in terms of their wear and their pace, and it's just about not making mistakes, but you can see the McLaren and the Ferrari hot on their heels. Marcy, by the way, holding on to Matthias, who is up into 6th position. Will he be able to join in on this battle? Of course, one in the Netherlands. Jamie won last week. Forgive me there for almost getting that run. Just down in 12th position, scoring the final points. And Matthias gets himself a penalty. And look at these guys, Cole. Look at them.
I mean, this is tremendous. I don't know where to look next. I noticed that Mason has just passed Jess now up into 11th as well. As Jess gets 3 seconds, that's going to be crucial. Now, this is one thing that we haven't spoken about. The top 5 are yet to have a penalty. Now, if any one of them gets a penalty, they are in trouble. As Papa Squanch tries round the outside, keeps the 4 wheels the right side of the white line. That's a great move. Great
look
move.
At Hooky.
Ghost, and look at Hooky come through. Look at Hooky. He's challenging Proverb. Now Hooky's in such a good position because he's on those medium tyres now. Now I think he's got, at this stage of the race, probably the best set of tyres to be on.
I was just going to say that.
Softs are going to struggle, but I think Hooky's in a great position here. He's just got to time his moves properly. You know, he's just got to be. He can't afford to be too patient. We've only got 4 laps to go.
I was going to say, if it was me, I'd rather be on those 11-lap-old medium tyres than anything else. But here we go, lap 33, only 4 laps to get the winner decided. Forget the winner, the podium decided. As you mentioned, if any of them get a penalty, it's going to cost him big time. So look at this, the McLaren now, for the last few laps he's been on the defensive. He now fancies going on the offensive.
Such a brave manoeuvre. Is this not what league racing is all about? Now, one thing I'm looking at, Ghost, he's struggling. He's got no ERS left, like none. He's on like 2%. Oh, how did he miss the back of the McLaren there? That was almost disaster. So Ghost, he's run out of ERS. So you got Papa Squanch, 30%. M125, 33%. Proverb, 9%. Ghost, 9% as well. Hooky on 50. So this is what's going to make the difference now. As Hooky's challenging, he's having a go at Ghost around the outside. Oh, he's done it. He's through. Oh, he had such a great run. As Papa Squanch gets 3 seconds. That's you.
Matthias now just about to go past Ghost. So what's happened to Ghost? He went from almost winning this race to back down into 6th position. So Papa, is this going to cost him the win and the podium? We'll have to see. Proverb currently sitting in 3rd position out of the DRS. Hooky's going to start an attack now. Is he going to be able to do a move down the inside? Yes, he is. Gets the job done. Slams the door on exit. Is the McLaren going to try and get back into turn 4? Such a great track for racing, this track. And look at the top 2, changing position again.
And this is brilliant, but that penalty, Papa Squanch is going to be fuming with that, because that's cost him this race. It's cost him a podium. Now, can Hooky, with just a couple of laps to go, get anywhere near Papa Squanch? Get anywhere near 125. Papa Squanch is done. He's going to drop. Matthias, he's going to drop quite a lot now with that time penalty. But I think Ghost Softs, I think they've just gone. I think they've run out of life now, and he's going to struggle this last lap.
The understeer looks horrible in that Alpine. And Shelby, I don't think he'll be able to do anything about it. He's too busy defending from Marcy, who's going down the inside of turn 1. No, Shelby absolutely slams the door and just takes the corner normally. And look at this, Marcy now under attack from Jamie, who's still on those hard compounded tyres. Switching back to the front though, as you see the top two, Shock, side by side again, on the exit of turn 3. Popper gets the job done, but we know he's got a penalty that's going to make him fall down the order.
Yes, he's just going to have to keep pushing now. He knows the race win's gone. I mean, he knows the podium's gone, really, unless anything dramatic happens now with a lap and a bit to go. As Marcy passes Jamie. So Marcy jumps ahead of Jamie there. And that's crucial because they've both got 3-second time penalties. So that is a real, that's a big place change there for Jamie as he's all over hounding him.
Hookie could win this race. We said he was on the best tyres. We said he had the most ERTs. Here we go, lap 36 of 36. Currently on board with Hookie. He goes deep. He goes deep. He's going to go into the runoff area. Well, if it's giving him a penalty, that's cost him the race win, that move. M125 wants to win it on track, just in case down the outside. A little bit of lag there. The McLaren and the Ferrari go into each other. I think that was lag. Hookie's left the session. What on earth is going on here? So he's going to fall down the order. Ghost is under attack from Matthias. Gosh.
Oh, that's terrible for Hookie. I don't know what happened there, but he has left the session. You can see his car's ghosted. I don't know whether that was after. Is that why he got the 3 seconds? Is that why he made that mistake? But, as Ghost completely loses it. As we head to 125, about to cross the line.
Here we go. It's been a brilliant race from both of these guys. They both would have deserved to win, but M125 is going to cross the line to take the win here in Austria, round 6. Proverb moves up to 2nd, Popper drops down to 3rd, Ghost takes 4th, 15 laps on those soft tyres. Hookie, who disconnected after that mistake in turn 1, takes 5th. Matthias in 6th, Gerald Mason jumps up to 7th, Jamie and Jess follow with 8th and 9th side by side. Marcy drops down to 10th. Shelby in 11th. Anthony scores points in 12th after a good showing early on. And OKK in 13th by the looks of it, as long as he completes this lap. Fuzzy Bear, who I noticed stole the fastest lap of the race, down in 14th place. Disappointing race for the former champion. And then Jack, who we're still not sure, we think he was able to get back in his car. He's going to cross the line 15th, will of course score a point for finishing the race.
But what a race that we had there. That was tremendous. I really want to know what happened to Hookie there. Yeah, Hookie, he's just saying now, did I disconnect last lap? So I think something went wrong with his internet there, I think. So that's going to be desperately disappointing for him. But he still gets a top 5, which I think he'll be pleased with. Especially after the sprint.
I think the disconnection didn't cost him as much as that mistake at turn 1 where he went deep and then got himself the penalty. So, nevertheless, Popper got the penalty, which ultimately, cost him the chance to get this win. But M125 showing, I honestly don't know if I've seen a better racer wheel to wheel than M125. He's able to defend, he's able to attack, he's able to know when to do both of those. His racing side by side is absolutely fantastic, Colin. And let's quickly go to the results page so we don't miss it. And we'll do our driver of the day perhaps after I'll let you read through.
Yeah, so M125 in first place, our first double winner this season. Second place, Proverb, after disastrous start to the season. A great result there for the McLaren driver. Papa Squanch in 3rd, losing that race win on with a time penalty. Ghost in 4th, Hookie in 5th. We got Matthias in 6th, Mason in 7th, Jamie and Jess in the Red Bull 8th and 9th. Marcy in the Alpine in 10th, Shelby 11th, Anthony Hunt in 12th, OKK 13th, Fozzie 14th, Jack 15th, and our two drivers who DNF from the session was Cowboy and Felix.
What a race! What a race! What a race! I guess we're gonna have to pick our driver of the days, Colin. Shall I let you go first and do the honours?
Yes, I'm definitely going to go for Whopping Proverb. He's had a
That's who I
bit...
was gonna pick.
I thought he was just so unlucky at the start of the season. Things weren't quite going his way. He was making the odd mistake here or there. But what a brilliant race for him today. He put all that disappointment behind him and really drove very, very well. So my question for Proverb is, how pleased are you after that terrible start to the season to get on the podium?
All right. Yeah, good nomination. That's who I was going to pick. Has to be said. However, it's hard because I can't see the results because we're on Twitch. Can't scroll back. But I tell you, who's someone who caught my eye the entire race tonight, and perhaps doesn't get a mention enough of, was Marcy, who just always seemed to be up there battling. Every time he thought he was losing positions, he was back up there. I know he lost out at the end of the race there to drop down to 10th, but sometimes I think we need to mention those, who within their own standards had a good evening and performed well and showed some glimpses of what's to come. So Marcy's going to be my nomination, and my question to him is going to be, are you going to be able to build on tonight's results and challenge more for the top 5 as we head towards the second half of the season? So there we have it. Are you still there, Colt?
Yeah, I mean, I just still absolutely stunned by that race. That's a great nomination as well for Mars. He's had a bit of a struggle the last couple of races, but yeah, he's really driving well at the minute as well. But what a race at the end there! I mean, with 10 laps to go, we couldn't work out who's going to get in the top 5. Absolutely tremendous, and this is what One-Ub's all about. Close racing from the front all the way to the back of the field, and P3 tier again showing some great racing for us.
Yeah, there were some incidents, obviously early on, a few safety cars, but overall, you have to say that the battling, the way they were able to go so close together, the top group, side by side, and not have too many spins. It shows you it can be done, and we're really excited to be able to continue commentating on what the P3 tier are giving us such fantastic races. So yeah, now we got to go and take a drink, Cole, and get ready for the P1 race at 8 p.m. tonight. But just want to quickly update you that currently the P2 tier is live. They are, of course, around Austria, and they're in their sprint race lap 10 out of 12. And ERT Justin is currently leading the way, almost a 7-second lead over Redmap.
Wow.
So, yeah, those two dominating a little bit at the front there. Not sure how he's managed to get such a fantastic lead, did ERT Justin, but nevertheless, he looks set to take the win and start on the front row as Specialist is having some drifting. But, Colin, overall, another fantastic night for the P3 tier. Final thoughts before we head off?
Oh, I mean, if we can have that type of racing for the rest of the season, I'll be delighted. I'm still stunned by that. And the top 5, got to give them a lot of credit as well for the wheel to wheel. It was very, very good driving between the top 5 as well. So next week, Monza, such a different track to Austria, low downforce. A high-speed track. Going to be a lot different for the drivers. So, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, me too. Here we go then. We have finished round 6, round 7 next week, as Colin mentioned. So join us there at 6 o'clock. No, it's not next Sunday, is it, Cole? Because we got a break week.
Sorry,
yeah,
I apologise.
It's,
we got a
Mother's
break
Day,
week, haven't we?
Isn't it? Next week here in the UK.
That's right.
So go spend the evening with your mothers, take them out, show them how much you love them, and yeah, we'll be back the week after on the 17th. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you tune into the P2 tier, which is live now. And Colin and I will be back in a couple weeks' time. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Goodbye.